Hey, what's going on, Sonic Movie 3 fans? And the final trailer is finally here, so let's go ahead and break it down in this Sonic Movie 3 breakdown. But real quick before we get into the breakdown, here's a quick little highlight of my reaction to that trailer. Oh, hi Weasel. We got a little guest of us joining us to watch the trailer.
It's time, Shadow.
No freaking way.
Fun. We were born ready.
Oh, gun. Oh, Tails POV.
That is
Oh
dark.
my god, the art.
Right choice when matters the most.
Oh, excuse me!
The more you talk, the
Oh
harder
my god, it looks so freaking good! With all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the breakdown.
Here we go! Showtime!
So first up, we have a couple close-up shots of Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. And this scene, based off the lighting, is most likely the same little racing scene that they have later on in the trailer. And I know a couple people online have pointed out that this shot of Sonic here before the race does seem like maybe the background is Green Hill. But if this is connected to the racing scene from later, this is not Green Hill, because Green Hill was in a different universe. And as we can see from this TV spot here, Sonic and the family are actually camping. So they're most likely camping here and just doing a little race to cool off.
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Konnichiwa!
And then we get a beautiful look here at Chao Garden. There's so many nice details, the place looks awesome. But as you know, Chao Garden in Sonic Adventure 2 is an actual garden where baby Chaos are born and raised. But here in this Sonic cinematic universe, Chao Garden is a very popular Japanese cafe instead. And now getting into the details of the Chao Garden, we have this beautiful Chao Garden sign with the mascots here playing on stage. Then in this wider shot here, we can see even more Chao mascots in lush green bushes, and on the wall, checkered patterns, and also on the floor, checkered patterns reminiscent of Green Hill Zone. Then another cool little detail I think here is pretty funny is this massive Chao with a wide open mouth. And I like how the wide open mouth makes for a Chao bar. That's very cool. In this next shot here, we can see Team Sonic is eating what looks to be dumplings in the shape of Chao heads. That's very cute. And then right after that, a little girl walks up to Tails and asks if Tails is Detective Pikachu. And that is a very funny joke because, you know, he does look like Detective Pikachu. He's yellow, a live action animal thing. But that does confirm that Detective Pikachu, Nintendo, and Ryan Reynolds, because Ryan Reynolds was the voice actor of Detective Pikachu, are all canon in this Sonic cinematic universe. I don't know, I think that's just pretty funny to think about. Knuckles also does do a little Pika Pika, which is, you know, Pikachu's little catchphrase.
Pika Pika.
We can also see that the tables in the background are actually stood up by Chao egg stands for the table. I think that's a very nice little touch. And also a thing I noticed is that this little Konnichiwa scene is actually disconnected, and it's probably after the following explosion here at the cafe.
Get down!
And as the camera zooms in, as Eggman drones come to attack the crew, it seems like Sonic and team were meeting with Commander Walters, you know, the Olive Garden guy. But we're not too sure what was being discussed here as of yet. And last little bit of this Chao Cafe scene, I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of looks like Sonic and crew just left the Commander guy to blow up.
It's time, Shadow. Finally, we will have our revenge.
Then we get this beautiful shot of Shadow about to be gunned down in the rain. Like, cinematically, it's done really well. And I believe these people that are gunning him down are gunned, but I don't see any gun logos in any of the vans. But I do believe they're gunned based off the futuristic, techie looking guns that the officers are holding. Then we get this shot of Gerald in a prison uniform, looking at the wall with a bunch of writing on the wall, shaping the Eclipse cannon and the Arc. And of course, this scene is very similar to the infamous Gerald final speech that he had before he was executed from Sonic Adventure 2. Then we have this scene of the shockwave of lightning striking down above the city, and at first I was a little confused on what this was. But looking further into it, this does look to be the scene that plays later on in this trailer where Sonic and Shadow run up the building, Shadow's on the bike, and they fight in the air, and then they clash. And that clash, I do believe, is what causes big spark of lightning, because in the sky, once the clash settles down, we see red lightning and mist on the left, and blue lightning and mist on the right. Of course, those being the colors of Shadow and Sonic. In a blast between the two of these hedgehogs, I could see causing a blast this powerful to take out the energy in the city. And then here we get a clear look of Shadow running away from Prison Island that was showcased in the last trailer.
But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
There's two Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun.
Any last words?
Nice magic marble, real scary. Ah, that actually is real scary. Trick shot.
Then we get this little dialogue of Gerald basically wanting to share his evil plan with family.
But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
So from that dialogue, it does seem like maybe Gerald will be recruiting Eggman this time. And it's then when we see that Sonic and Team have been tied up and are being held captive here at this unknown location. And based off the fact that Sonic is surprised to see two Eggmans, we can piece together that this is Sonic and Team's first interaction with Gerald. That being said, I'm having a hard time figuring out where in the movie this takes place, but I would assume somewhere in the middle, because we do know Eggman had long hair and did team up with Sonic, but here he doesn't have the long hair and seems like he's not teaming up with Sonic. It's then that Shadow teleports into the frame and drops a magic marble orb thingy which creates this black hole that Sonic and Team fight against. Knuckles tries to hold them back, but it's not enough and they go flying into the black hole, but thankfully Sonic has a ring on him and he does a trick shot and they teleport back to Tom and Maddie's house.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
We're in.
Are you ready?
We were born ready.
All right, boys, try and keep up.
And here at Tom and Maddie's house, we can see that Tom has picked up some arts and crafts as seen by this little building he's building here, and that little paper mache looking thing down there, which does kind of look reminiscent to Tom. And of course, the Donut Lord sweatshirt, which, you know, he probably made himself at this point. And then for Maddie, it seems like she picked up bacon considering she's sporting a brand new all muffin apron. And not just the apron alone, but in this next frame, we see a gazillion pieces of bread all over the place. So not sure what's going there, but that's pretty cool. And then we have this little scene of Sonic explaining there's a top secret mission and he needs Tom and Maddie's help. And I just want to point out this little zoom in when Sonic starts talking. It looks super nice. Then we cut to Sonic and the family at London with Tom, Rachel, Randall, and Maddie all sporting gun outfits. And I assume the crew is looking for info on Gerald or Shadow, but none of that is clear fully yet. But also a little detail in the background with Randall is we can see that there is a gun advertising there, so they are in a gun facility. Then we cut to this little scene of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles running in the forest. And the lighting in this scene is reminiscent to the lighting in the first couple of scenes that started the trailer. And they are in a forest, so they're most definitely camping. We get this nice little shot of Tails unleashing a jetpack to give him a little boost, and then this funny little like POV zoom in, really reminiscent of that funny Black Adam meme. And this is just a theory, but they could be camping at Sonic's old cave house from the first movie, because in the last trailer, we actually did see Tom look at some old drawings of Longclaw from Sonic's old cave.
Come on, Granddaddy-O. We've got
Dirt to do.
With Shadow's power, we can rule humanity.
When we're done, there won't be anything left to rule.
That is dark.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
And a lot happens right here in 20 seconds, but we get a little shot of Eggman coming up from the sewers, not sure what was going on down there, but he's being playful with Gerald, so that's nice to see. We then quickly see the Ark lifting up from the London waters, and then really briefly this disconnected shot of a dirty Shadow, which at first I thought it was from a shot later in the trailer, but I actually do believe this is most likely a shot of him after the Ark explosion or whatever goes down in the Ark, the fire and everything burning, because the lighting just looks a little more similar to that. And also in the later scene that we're talking about, Shadow doesn't look dirty at all like he does here. Then we hear the Eggmans talk about with Shadow's power, we can rule humanity. And then it cuts to Shadow running around in circles, and then we pan back and we can see Shadow in the circles running around behind the Eggman, letting us know that Shadow is the one powering up the Eclipse cannon this time on the Ark. That's super insane because in the games, this thing was powered up by the Chaos Emeralds. So I just think that's a cool little difference that this time Shadow is most likely, powering this thing up on his own just by running. We then just see multiple clips of people looking up at the sky, and we can see the Ark lifting up from the London waters, and in the background there is two buildings over there, and with one of them having a massive gun logo. Also, that building is most likely the building that Randall and the rest of Sonic and crew are most likely infiltrating. Then we get this beautiful well done shot of Shadow saying when we're done there won't be anything left to rule. We then get another super cool scene here of Shadow, Eggman, and Gerald going up on the Ark, looking at London down below, and as they go up into space. There's also one thing to notice that Agent Stone isn't here with them, so most likely they left him behind, which, is unfortunate. We then get a shot of the Eclipse Cannon charging up and the full-on shot of the thing just beaming through the moon, slicing that sucker up. And of course, this shot is very reminiscent of what happened in Sonic Adventure 2 when the Eclipse Cannon in that game blasted half of the moon off. So yeah, like just the fact that's happening and just the fact that we're getting a little tease of the hero, it's just so exciting. But also we do see it just barely misses the Earth, but it could have hit the Earth beforehand because we don't see the full cut, but who really knows. And this little Sonic Google Maps joke here is pretty funny, you know, but it's probably disconnected from everything. And this scene, considering the background night, foggy, misty, I'm not quite too sure where this is taking place in the timeline wise of the movie.
Life's all about the choices we make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
One hedgehog to another. Who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
Then next we get a scene of Shadow and Maria sitting in the grass looking at the night sky. This is a very nice and wholesome scene, and obviously there will be a lot of sad moments in the movie, and this does seem like it's going to be one of them. But this is most likely a dream sequence because Maria was never with Shadow on Earth. And then in this next Shadow scene, we do see Shadow reminiscing near an old test tube. And I believe this is the test tube where he was born at the Ark, and not the one that he breaks out early in the movie on Prison Island. And then next up again, another disconnected scene over this very nice motivational speech from Tom. But Sonic and the crew are at a random cornfield for some reason, but it does look like they just got beat up bad. Knuckles then offers Sonic a fist bump, but Sonic returns the gesture with a big ol' hug. And you know, that's just nice to see how far they've come in these movies. And then we get this super awesome scene of Shadow with a freaking gun, man. I did not believe that was gonna happen in this movie. But yeah, of course Shadow did have guns in the Shadow 05 video game. And ever since then, it's kind of felt like Sega didn't want Shadow to hold a gun. But here he is again, this time with a more sci-fi looking gun, probably a gun from Gun, you know. Nonetheless, this shot here of Shadow with the gun on the bike, man, 10 out of 10, man. Then we get this really awesome scene of Sonic running after Shadow on the bike with some beautiful lighting, as you can see here, reflecting off Sonic's eye. And then also just the visual effects and lighting on Shadow here, like, it's beautiful. The quills flying in the wind, the nice white lights and shadows bouncing off Shadow. It's very awesome, and it somewhat reminds me of that motorcycle scene in FF7 Remake. I don't know, I think I'm just a fan of cool edgy people on bikes. And then right after that we do see this scene I was talking about earlier with Sonic and Shadow going up the building and then fighting in the sky and about to clash. And I believe it is this scene here that leads on to the lightning big boom in the sky that knocks out the power in the city that played earlier in the trailer.
This ends now!
Our destiny awaits. You were right about one thing. This ends now.
And now the last couple of seconds of this trailer are insane, so let's quickly go over everything. We hear Sonic say this ends now, but this first shot is actually unrelated to the next shot that just happens right after it. But this first shot does look like Sonic is still in Tokyo. And besides that, we don't know much of what's going on in that scene. But this next scene is the super interesting one because it starts out with Sonic being mad and snarling. But you can see how Sonic's expression really just switches here in a second. Which I believe is shocked because if you take a look at the reflection of Sonic's eyes here, we can see what looks like bright lights flying around. And if we piece together the shadow shot that happens right after this, it does seem like Sonic is surprised to see Chaos Emeralds go around Shadow. And something like Shadow taking the Chaos Emeralds and going super right in front of Sonic would definitely cause an expression like that to come out of Sonic. But yeah, that might be a bit of a stretch, but I kind of feel like that's what's going on there. We then do get another quick shot of the Eclipse Cannon pulsing with energy. And then the even crazier part about this is that we did just get an interview with Keanu Reeves. And in the interview, they showcase the same scene here, but with these two little specks down there added to the scene. And this is kind of spoilery, to be honest, but we all know that those two little specks, it's gotta be Super Sonic and Super Shadow. And we can tell it is the two because those little specks are actually two different colors. One's the gold color and one's the lighter shade of gold. And then real quick, while I was editing this, there was another TV spot added, which does showcase this super awesome scene of Sonic and Shadow reaching for the Chaos Emeralds, further confirming that Sonic is probably surprised to see Shadow go super, but also that the little scene from the interview is the two of them going super in space. And then a shot of citizens looking up at the sky, and we do see Stone in the crowd. And the fact that we do see Stone in the crowd kind of makes me believe that Eggman, Gerald, and Shadow did leave him behind, unfortunately. But the way the citizens are looking up at the sky here, it is very reminiscent of how the citizens were looking up at the sky in Station Square for Eggman's Doomsday announcement back in Sonic Adventure 2. So I'm almost positive that is what's going on there, but again, it's not confirmed. Then we have a little shot here of Eggman with what looks to be inside the ark with all the power charged up from Shadow running across it, on a floating platform controlling, I guess, the Eclipse Cannon. Not too sure what he's controlling though. Then we get a little overview shot of this volcanic landscape. Not too sure where this is or what's going on exactly, but a quick theory I have is that maybe when the Eclipse Cannon went off, it wasn't just the moon that got hit, you know, maybe a little spot on Earth got blasted too. And also in this volcanic landscape shot, we can see a gold little beam zoom on by. And it goes by so quick, it's a little hard to tell, but you know, this could either be Supersonic or Super Shadow, or Tails by the random case, but I kind of believe it's probably going to be Supersonic or either Super Shadow. But yeah, right after that, we do see Sonic tumbling in this volcanic landscape. Maybe he was just punched by Shadow or something. But then the trailer quickly cuts to the Eclipse Cannon going off, and then cuts back to Shadow with Shadow saying, "This ends now," ending off the trailer. But we can see on the left side of the screen here that Sonic's hand is punching Shadow, so this is most likely connected to that first shot in this little segment here. And then for the little stinger at the end of the trailer, we do have this little funny, very Jim Carrey-esque Christmas scene here with Gerald being Santa for some reason. I have no idea what's going on here. Can't really get too much info on what's going on here just because how random it is. But I did catch this little Easter egg here that the two stockings, they actually do say G and I, you know, standing for Gerald and Ivo. So I don't know, maybe the two of them are making up for lost time, who really knows. But with that being said, that's a trailer breaking down for you. So yeah, that trailer, man, that was really something. That was definitely worth the hype, and not gonna lie, I did kind of think this trailer would be a little more spoilery, but I'm kind of glad it wasn't, you know. It just kind of gave us more extended looks and some new looks, and basically a lot of looks at game Sonic Adventure 2, you know, esque stuff, like the moon blowing up, the arc going up, more Maria scenes, and all the sorts, man. It was a whole lot of fun. It's so awesome. But yeah, with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It helps out a lot. And thank you for all the support and everything. And thank you for like letting me hit 1K, man. I never thought I would do it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.